Do you find it hard to maintain consistent energy throughout the day? There's a practice for that.
So today we're going to be doing an amazing practice for energy management with Dandapani, who's a Hindu priest and an amazing human.
Yeah, Andrew traveled to Costa Rica to film these practices with Dandapani, and one of the things that amazed me as I watched him is just how concise and how effective they are.
Most people aren't very observant of their energy levels throughout the day and what is actually taking energy away from them. People, things around them, situations, experiences, social media. When I lived as a monk for 10 years in a cloistered monastery, it was so much easier to manage my energy. I lived within closed walls with other monks. And now living in the world, so to speak, as a Hindu priest, as an entrepreneur, as a family person, interacting with the world at large, I found that I needed to be much more thoughtful and conscious of how my energy is being affected. But the first step really, Andrew, in managing energy is to prevent the hemorrhaging of energy. Most people are always focused on how can I have more energy? If I meditate, eat well, I exercise, sleep more. But if you have all these energetic holes, energy is always leaking out of you. So you can keep putting energy in you.
Just leaking and leaking and leaking.
Yeah, you'd never fill a bucket that had a hole in it.
Yeah.
Why would you? You'd plug the hole first.
Yeah.
And this whole exercise is about plugging the holes in your life. Then the energy can accumulate and then you can use it however you want. So today I'm going to share with you a simple practice that can help you firstly be observant of whether you're gaining energy or losing energy. And then if you're losing energy, how do you prevent that energy loss and what you can do about it? The name of this practice is the energy observation practice. It's a quick, simple practice that you can do after any interaction that you have in your life, whether it's with a person or with a thing, or you're interacting with social media, and it'll take under a minute, but the value that you get from it is tremendous. And then eventually it becomes a habit that just adds tremendous value to your life. Every time you have an interaction with someone or something, and that interaction is over, at the end of it, ask yourself, how do I feel? And give yourself 3 options for answers. Option 1, uplifted. Option 2, neutral. Option 3, not uplifted. Now, if you feel uplifted, then you can say to yourself, how can I create more of these type of interactions so that my day is filled with uplifting experiences? So do you have an example from today where you had an interaction and you would be able to say right now, you're looking back at it, identify how you felt, whether it was uplifting, neutral, or not uplifting?
I was out surfing this morning, and one of my friends came up to me in the waves and said, "Oi, that's my wave," and but in a joking sort of way. And then we sort of like fist bumped, and it just felt like loving and fun and playful, and I felt uplifted by that, like just energetically.
So that's a great example of feeling uplifted. And I suppose when you see a friend, you could take a similar approach to create a similar outcome.
With a bit of play and jokiness, lightness.
Yeah, lightness, if you sense that they're open to it. The idea is to really kind of capture what experience caused this outcome. And then how can I repeat this experience?
Got it. And in that situation, it was the playfulness and the camaraderie and the buddiness that sort of felt uplifting to me.
Now, if it's neutral, then really there's nothing needs to be done any further. It's just a neutral experience. For example, if I went to the store, I bought a loaf of bread, I handed the guy some money, he gave me the loaf of bread, I left. That was completely neutral. It was neither uplifting nor not uplifting. That would be an example of a neutral experience. Now, if I have an interaction with someone or something and I walk away and I feel energetically drained, it's really important to be observant of this. Sometimes someone or something may drain your energy through just one interaction, but if it's consistently draining your energy over many interactions, then it becomes a problem. So to give you an example, if every time I go on Instagram and I spend 10 minutes on there and I leave Instagram and I go off to do something else, when I go off to do something else, I feel not uplifted, then Instagram is draining my energy. Has there been an experience today or recently where you had a not uplifting outcome?
Yeah, there was an experience today where I was having another interaction with someone who's like an acquaintance, and it was just very one-sided.
Have you had interactions with this person before?
Yes.
And what are the average outcome of, just say, the last 10?
Yeah, it always feels not uplifting. It always feels like when she's excited, she's talking about herself and the things that she's doing in the world, and not having a great focus on me.
Yeah, I would say the big thing about the non-uplifting part is that it's hard to have one interaction with someone, and if it's not uplifting, to say that person's not uplifting. They could be having a bad day, something could be going on in their life, they got some bad news and just not feeling it. But it's really the average over a period of time, over 6 months, a year, 2 years. You average it out and you go, the most of the times that I have an interaction with this person, it's not uplifting. Then you just have to go, okay, do I want to still keep having interactions? And if I did have an interaction, how do I keep it to the very minimal of, being polite, being kind and sincere, but not engaging any deeper? Yeah. My guru had a really nice phrase to encapsulate that. He said to be affectionately detached. So you can be kind, you can be sincere, you can be uplifting, but you're just not engaging any further.
Yeah.
So if you see them, you can go, hey, good morning. Hope you have a lovely day. Hope you're having a lovely day. And then just move on. The final step here is really to have some sort of a practice where it's daily or every week, reflecting back on the week and just trying to make a note of what are the interactions I had in my week that resulted in me not feeling good. And again, it could be people and it could also be things, right? It could be physical things. It could be reading a book that makes you feel bad. It could be watching a TV show, being on social media. Observe those things, because the more you can observe it and become conscious of the things and people that make you feel not uplifted, the more you can take steps towards avoiding it. The whole practice at the end of the day is to create guidelines or framework to better manage your finite energy that you have each day. So as you accumulate energy, you can channel that accumulated energy to the people and things that you love the most.
It's actually far easier to look at where you're expending your energy than it is to get more energy, is kind of the shortest way I would summarize this practice.
My biggest takeaway from this practice is that I want to not just know the single moments that are draining my energy, but actually do an energy audit, and do it for a week or two and write down the things that are draining my energy and the things that are enlivening me, and so I can see where I can actually fill those holes of energy.
One of the most valuable things for me is the realization of how precious your energy is. Your energy is what creates things in life. And we're never trained or taught how to manage that energy, evaluate where we've been investing that energy, and reallocate that energy very specifically, very consciously and intentionally to the things and people that matter. And energy is something that, cannot be created or destroyed. Law of thermodynamics. So you can't create more energy, but you can transfer energy from one thing to another. And when you learn that and understand those laws of energy, then you're very conscious each day about how you protect your energy, because it's finite each day, and where you channel it, because wherever you put your energy into, that's what starts to manifest in your life.
We got another practice coming up for you next week, so please like and subscribe.
Ciao.
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 Bye.